Does that like ever play a role in when you're recording, like, yo, my kids are gonna see this?
Hell yeah. I started conversation with Zoe to just show kids how to embrace themselves, build confidence, be cool with whatever lane that they choose, especially staying out the way. Like there's this false advertising that if you're not gang, you pussy. Or if you're not this, you that, or you're soft, or you're less than. And all of that shit is bullshit because it doesn't transfer. It doesn't translate to real life. It's not real. You know, it is real, but it's not real in the sense that we can't go buy a crib with it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's not tangible.
It's not tangible, right?
Yeah, it's destructive.
It's destructive, right? And it's also not for everyone, right? So I knew that it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I can't get a year back.
Yeah.
I
I wasn't trying to outshine, you know what I'm saying?
Nah.
It's your flaw.
I need passion though.
Okay, yeah.
To set the tone.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't want to, you know. I like being I'm not used to being on the side that much. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
So
take my shine, bro.
Nah,
just keep going. Nah. Like we could shine together.
We still in women's.
We could shine together.
This last day of women's month. Oh, we got like 2 days left, something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I get it. Okay. Well, I'm your host, DEJA Wallace, and welcome to Mind Over Matter, episode 89.
89. That's
89.
Beautiful.
We grinding. Almost at big 100.
Dollar bill.
Big 100.
Big 100.
It's almost there. We grinding it out. And I have a very special guest with me today. We have Zoe from Conversations with Zoe.
It's the word, my people.
I'm hype. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, of course. On today's episode, I want to get into fatherhood because you are a father now.
Yeah, got
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
There has been a lack of positive representation of Black males in media, which is not new to most of us. That's the unfortunate truth. Most times you turn on the TV and you're more likely to see Black men portrayed as thugs, deadbeats, problematic, and rather than just upstanding citizens in society. So I feel like as content creators, it's our job to just shift that narrative for people to see just more positive representations of Black people because we are nuanced. Right. We are very just like, we're not a monolith.
Right.
So the purpose of this conversation is to just widen that view and just shine a light on just the joy and beauty and vastness of being Black.
Right.
So if that's something you like, kick back, relax, enjoy this episode.
Right. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, check out the vibes over here.
Yeah, smash that like button.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We got it going over here.
Big collab.
You know what I'm saying? I think, you know, everything's about systems, you know, and sometimes I feel like it's easy to conform to the norm, right? Mm-hmm. You know, if you look at, this is no offense to anybody or where they live, whatever, but this is just truth. Mm-hmm. If you look at, like, say the projects, right? It'll be like 3 generations of women living there, right? It'd be great-grandma, grandma, daughter, right? Mm-hmm. So they've, like, from the way grandma came up to the mother to the daughter, you know, that same mindset is being pushed.
Yeah.
Like, yo, we all we got. We don't need each other. We can't have no men living here because they're gonna raise the rent and all of that. So, yeah, you don't need him. You feel me? Go tell that person down at that office that you don't got no help, you don't got no baby father, for they could give you more support and coupons and stamps and all of that. So it's kind of pushed this this wave that we don't need men in the household, that fathers don't matter. And it's like the presence of a father is vital. You know, both men and women both need validation from both parties.
Right.
I'm saying, like, there's certain things, there's things you need from a woman, your mother, and there's things you need from a man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just that. So they're trying to take away from the natural world order. Like, things were built a certain way. And we're trying to rebuild it in a way that's not working. And you could tell it's not working.
Mm-hmm.
Because even in my high school, most of these young men, fathers are incarcerated or they don't know their dad.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that right there, even in my small school of 400 students, you know, you see these kids crashing out, going through it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you can see the ones that have a solid foundation. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? That at least grandpa stepped up,
Right.
uncle stepped up. Somebody filled that void,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So
It's crazy that you said that sometimes it's like basically promoted for just like, I would say normalized
Right.
for just single parent households. And what I did notice growing up in a 2-parent household was that sometimes I was shamed
right.
by those around me as if, oh, you wouldn't understand because like you were spoon fed.
Mm.
As if me having 2 parents is something that that I should be ashamed of in a weird
Mhm.
way, because most of the people around me did not have a 2-parent. I don't know anybody outside of my family, extended family and everything, that has a 2-parent household in my friend group.
Right.
It was something that was not normal, and I didn't know that until I spoke about my parents.
Right.
And then I could see like the okay, you wouldn't understand kind of stares. And going back to like the normalization of it, even like, okay, public school system in New York, I would sometimes lie on some of the forms to get like free lunch and stuff, and just to get like extra help, because just because you have a 2-parent household, I don't mean you're the richest person in the world.
Facts.
So sometimes my mom would like say, oh, lie about this and lie about that to get fast food, to get like better, just more assistance from the government, because the government does incentivize just having just 1-parent household.
Right.
Even when you think about the welfare system.
Right.
So it's crazy that that's just like the climate of it's like in the system.
So this is fresh off the pot. Just happened today, without saying any names. My brother knows who he is, but his father didn't raise him. You know, his father left him when he was 2. Right. And it's fucked up because, you know, he was reluctant to open up to his pops because, you know, his pops is deported and he's in Dominica. So his father couldn't come to his wedding. Can't come to shit because, you know, he left the country, skipped out on child support, so he can't come back. But, you know, his father's not doing as well as he used to be doing, right? So he didn't want to open up to his dad. He took the chance thinking that his dad would understand, but he tells his dad, you know, like, man, this shit is tough, and kicking my butt, whatever. And his dad is like, well, suck it up, right? And that was like so triggering for my brother because it's like, yo, bro, like, you didn't raise me. Like, you got wild kids you didn't raise. And here you are. And I feel like your dad can't give you what you're looking for. You know what I mean? Like, it's not in him. You know what I'm saying? He never changed his ways. He never found a better way. He never found that one child that was like, yo, I'm going to do better for this one. But you know, sometimes you resent the child that you saw your parent change for. It's not the reality over here. Look at the position that he's in. You know what I'm saying? Multiple different wives, divorces. I think he's like, and it's even beautiful for my brother to get married because he's my neighbor, but I call him my brother. He's a product of like, I want to say 4 or 5 divorces. I think his mother had 2, his father had 3. So for him to be married to his beautiful queen and then to have a beautiful daughter, it's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like sometimes, you know, being a generation that's going to break all the curses and find a new way and heal and do therapy and find different ways and not just be like, yo, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of pressure, but, you know, that's why you got your brothers there with you and your friends and they there to support you and help uplift you. And in that moment, I felt it was one of those long, I was like, nah, I got to sit down and read this. Because once I read a couple lines, I was there with him. You know what I'm saying? Going through this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I met his dad like maybe 3 or 4 times in my life, maybe 5, maybe. And, you know, we're learning things. We're teaching ourselves in a way. You know what I'm saying? And we're kind of feeding off of, I want to give what I didn't get. You know what I'm saying? I want to bring this love, to my child. I want to be financially free. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that way,
and it's really challenging because most of us, our foundation of how to give love is started in our household, how we receive love. So even like trying to unlearn certain forms of methods that our parents used in parenting is very challenging. So how are you going to parent your child differently in this generation?
Well, I'm pro ass whooping, so I'm gonna put that.
Oh, wow!
I'm saying
same.
I'm for I'm with the shit.
Same.
You heard Henny and Lenny? Feel me? Don't play with me. You know what I'm saying? But
I like.
It's also I just want to put that out there because I'm not afraid of that, and I know I also know that there's a balance to it, right?
Yeah.
The gentle parenting route, talking to them, understanding, finding ways, sitting him down, finding ways to redirect his energy. Things that I've learned these last 3 years. And I know that I go months and weeks without, but sometimes you cross the line, brother.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, what'd you do to your mother? Like, and it's just certain things that he has to know that there's a consequence for that. Like, feel me? And also, just like when you hit somebody gonna hit you back. So sometimes he'll hit me and I'll just hit him right back. Cause you need to learn, bro.
Right. You're not gonna be like, oh, don't do that again. Next time you do that, you're going in timeout. Like, they're not gonna receive it.
Listen, Hendrix is a future mogul. Like, he's a future professional athlete. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's athletic already at 3 years old, very bright. And he's not a small kid. He's 4'2". He's 3. Mom's 5'3". I'm just trying to get ahead of this. You know what I'm saying? It's not fear, it's respect. It's a difference. And there's just a certain thing that he knows he can't play with me like that. You know what I'm saying? And I just, his mother, she's coming around, she's seeing that, but these are young men we raising. You know what I'm saying? And the world, these are beautiful brown-skinned boys that the world is not gonna be so kind to sometimes. I don't know where the world is trending in, and I can't hide him from a reality that, an officer or whoever it may be, I'm gonna prep him. I'm gonna make sure that when he's not in my care, his mindset is sharp. He's ready to deal with whatever comes his way. Whether he has to defend himself, whether he has to use his words and de-escalate the situation, he's gonna know, right? Because we're gonna cross those things together, right? But also, with my partner, it's about knowing that he needs to know he can't play with you like that. You know what I mean? So, I understand everyone has their fair share of war stories, of ass whoopings or whatever it may be. But this is just like a 3 strikes you out kind of thing.
Yeah.
You've taken it too far, young buddy. And, we need to realign you. Or if you've taken it that far where it's like, bro, like, we just got to bring you back down to earth. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's not needed. Sometimes it is needed.
No, for real. You have to use your discretion as a parent to know, like, when it's abuse and when it's, like, just discipline. Now, I've always said that. I always said, like, to my friends, I'm going to beat my kid.
Right. It's almost like as an adult, you could tell when somebody had been punched in the face before. When them words is just flying out like that and you have no boundaries or no nothing, I could tell when somebody never been punched in the face. Right? Because you're not you're not expecting that. You've never been checked like that.
Yeah.
And life is gonna check you. Right? So there's no running around moving funny like that because I've seen it. You know what I mean? So and it's happened to me before. Not for running my mouth, but I know what that feeling is like.
Right.
Feel me? So when you know what that feeling is like,
you're a product of it. So
you're not gonna play like that.
Exactly. I'm a product of it too. So what is life like now with a newborn?
Man, what are we in March? January felt like a whole year. You know what I'm saying? It usually feels like that for all of us. It's just really like your heart extends more. I feel like my heart has extended to another person that I think about and care about. It's put another battery in my back. It really has rejuvenated me in a way to like, okay, like I was already going hard for my oldest son Hendrix. Now I have Lennox here, and now I just want to do more. Like now I just want to make sure that the foundation of everything is set. Being in a good place with his mother, understanding that, trying to even with my family members, like be good with them, but they could be there for my kids, and build those relationships as well. I used to have it was a pretty big family, and like I guess we don't really blend that well in adulthood. Not to get into it too much, but like I don't know, like I don't know what that energy is like, but it's funny, it's fake, and I'm not really here for that. So I just leave people where they at, you feel me? Because I got bigger fish to fry, you know what I'm saying? But I do have a village of friends and family that do care about me and my sons and my family. So I'm just grateful that, God never leaves me without.
Right. So even with like, okay, are there any things that, because you are growing up 2 Black boys in America, are there any things that you want them to be aware about growing up as 2 Black men in America?
I think that's gonna come with time, but I do feel that with my lifestyle and resources and connections, they're going to the best of everything. My mentor, Miss Bryant, who was my advisor in boarding school, she works at a school. She works at a day school in the city. So she already reached out to me like, yo, what's up? Like when we get in the tour for the boards, like I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so there's already people that love me so much that they want to advocate and look out for my boys as well. So really with them is gonna be the juggling between the 2 worlds. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause they're gonna be attending predominantly white institutions, but it's also your father's from the South Bronx. Like when we go see your grandmother, we in the Bronx. When we go see your other grandma, we in East Harlem. I mean, so it really is, community service, maybe Thanksgiving before we go eat, we at the pantries serving food. So really is with them just being in tune with them and like letting them know like you guys are very, very privileged. You know what I'm saying? And your mother does well for herself, your father does well for himself. So their reality is going to be totally different from ours. But I feel like as long as they're grounded in community work and knowing that there's different realities out there, there's different financial circumstances, because they're going to be the scholarship kids. You know what I'm saying? Not in the situation I was in. They're going to be like a little more ahead of that. You know what I mean? But it's still like, we don't got 70 racks for this school, bro. Like, we just don't. You know what I mean? Like, that's more than half of our salary. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things where I'm just gonna have to stay with them, stay intentional, and be like, yo, like, this is not your reality. You know what I'm saying? It's theirs, and don't get you comfortable in it. And just like my mother taught me, like, we're gonna buy what we can afford. You know what I'm saying? I know you go to these schools and you're seeing all of this stuff, but that's their reality. So you have to be comfortable with what you have.
Right. So that's good that you are in their lives. So how do you feel about single Black mothers raising Black boys? Do you think they're fully equipped to raise their sons to become men?
I feel like they could only do their best. There's always going to be a void missing, a young boy is always going to yearn for the love of his father, that validation. I had my father for 22 years of my life. I lost my dad in 2015, and it's nothing like it. Like you can't. I'm the opposite. I was close with my pops, not my mother. I've always died to be a mama's boy. It's just not my reality. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a couple mommy issues that I've worked through, still working through, but I didn't know we weren't that close till he died. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just like, I was just always, anything I had going on, I just holler at Pops about it. Like that was like my first, second, third option, like just holler at Pops about it. And he was always open and giving advice and talking to you and giving game. He'll cry with you. He was just more empathetic. He was more open. He was more emotionally available, than my mother was. So I think with single mothers, they can only do their best. And I feel the real plague of the hood is that their relationship with the man didn't work out. And that's totally fine. You feel me? I ran into my man's the other day. He looked like his dog died. But he hasn't seen his girls in 3 months. And he's well and able, working, doing well. Mom's not fucking with him. And it's just like, bro, like, just let me see my girls. And I never seen him like that. Like, and mind you, he's a fan of the show. We've seen each other he living around my neighborhood. And we've seen each other for the last 2 years. I swear to God, I've seen this man like 15 times, maybe 10 or 15 times. 13, he was with his kids. And I can tell you, he has a speaker, listens to old school, Ray Charles, Marvin Gaye, all of that. One of his daughters is a little older who rides a scooter, and his younger daughter is in a wagon that he's pulling. And he looks like the happiest. That's when I seen him, I was like, yo, you good, bro? And that's the way you heard a man. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of men, they just trying to wait till the kid is older to come around. And hopefully, the child's mind hasn't been so polluted and poisoned over who you're not. Because this picture is being painted by, you could say, your enemy. You know what I mean? Like, of course they're not going to say anything positive about you. So the real question is, how are women being held accountable for this? It's like a treacherous crime. You know what I mean? Like, he's working, he helps, he's around, he want to be in their life. But then the motherfucker that was nothing to do with them is like, you know what I mean? Like, so that's not right.
Yeah. I know he's walking around just feeling heavy. That's messed up. So you said you had a good relationship with your father.
Yeah, my dog. Love that nigga.
Rest in peace.
Right. Long live Big Zoe.
How did your relationship with your father influence how you're raising your sons?
He like, my father is a man's man, like a man that really laid it all on the line. Like even through his journey, his first job that I can remember that he had when I was about 4 or 5, this is like 96, 97. He was a building porter. So like, there's these, when you have like 2 to 3, like 3 buildings, like they the person that do like the maintenance in between the buildings. So you're throwing out the trash, mopping the floors, handiwork, all of that, right? So there's these, I don't know, I know where the buildings are, but I could show you them, but I don't know exactly what the names of them were. But anyway, he was a porter. So he's taking out trash, cleaning the buildings, doing all of that, right? Then I want to say, because I went to public school, I went to a pre-K program, kindergarten. Then I went to public school from 1st to 3rd grade. So I know I was in 4th grade in 2001 because that's when the Twin Towers happened. That was like my 2nd or 3rd day of school or something like that when 9/11 happened. So 4th grade, when we all went to Catholic school now, right? So Pop started doing tiles. An Italian man taught him how to do floors and tiling and all of that. And then next thing you know, like, we go take this enrollment test and we in uniform, and now we in Catholic school. So from all I can remember, he's a man that was always progressing in life, putting his best foot forward, investing in his family, right? Because the minute he got a bag, he paid for our education. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, me being in public school now as an educator and a dean, it's a foreign concept for me because I only went there till 3rd grade. You know what I mean? I was in Catholic school from 4th to 10th grade. And then I went to boarding school. So like, I went from, paid education to now $50,000 boarding schools, right? So my reality of this all is like, this is crazy. Like, I look at this situation at these high schools and these schools, and it's like, wow, like, y'all really going through it. Like, the resources, the educators, the people, like, even, let's not even get into that. Let's talk about school pride, right? Pep rallies, right? Bringing the community together. Like, you know what I mean? All of these things that in boarding school, we was always doing that. Like, we was the proudest to go to our school. You know what I mean? And we were informed about that. We had opportunities to showcase that, making signs at the games. Like, I had to get used to all of that because, it is, it just wasn't normal to me. Like, but when I went to O'Hallows, a Catholic boys' high school in the Bronx, we had a lot of school pride. We wore our school sweaters with our emblem. We had varsity jackets. I was on a varsity baseball team. So it's like everything was about school and community. You know what I'm saying? And when I went to boarding school, that was 10x that. So when my dad just always, he was very hard on me. But as I got older, he opened up more. So we started to have a lot of real conversations as I got older. And I remember when he dropped me off at boarding school, and boarding school was my choice. Like that wasn't my parents' choice. My mentor, Bill Mitchell, and all the people in my corner were advocating for me to go. And when they showed me it, I was like, yeah, let's do it. I was scared at first because, you have this negative stigma that when you go away to school, you did something bad. I mean, if you got sent away, it was when you did something
at
wrong,
that
you
age
did something
too,
bad. Yeah, you remember that era, like, oh yeah, you messed up, or you had to go live with a family member in Pennsylvania and go to high school over there. You know what I mean? So this was a whole positive encounter with being sent away or going away to school. So my dad told me, yo, like, I don't got no money for any mistakes you make here. And just know that being this skin color, he pointed at his hand, you're going to have to work 3 times as hard. And I didn't understand that till like months in, because I didn't know what I was getting myself into. You know what I'm saying? I'd never been in a PWI yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming from the Bronx. I'm the majority over there. Like, everything is black and brown where I'm from. But now I come over here, and we talking about, no lie, I'll never forget the number. So this number includes students, faculty, and people that do the maintenance around campus. It's 53 people of color.
And what was it?
And we have 420 students.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no.
And then the rest of the staff. So I took anybody with a little bit of melanin. So we taking Indian people, like anybody with a
That's
little.
like 10% of the.
You know what I mean? So this is a whole, and then mind you, we in a town. Right? So we in Suffield, Connecticut. So now it's this town. So even when I go to CVS, down the
they be looking at you.
Right? The supermarket, the little plaza across the street. I'm at the mall. You know what I mean? Even when I go to Springfield, which is, you can say a little more urban, it still ain't many black people there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my dad was amazing, and I adored him, and for me, I'm living for myself, also to honor him, but, to keep his legacy alive. He did so many great things for my family and so many others.
That's beautiful that you had that foundation.
Thank you.
Because, like I said, circling back to what I was saying before, like sometimes when you're around so many people that are brought up in single parent households and you do speak about, like, I love my dad.
Right.
It's like, I've heard friends say, like, I'm jealous of that. Like, you're so lucky.
Yeah.
And it's like, you shouldn't be jealous of that. It should, like, inspire you, you know what I mean? To be that when you grow older, or have that when you grow older,
Right.
Yeah.
So how that goes into how I'm going to raise my boys and how that inspires me is a man that sacrificed everything. A man that was up 5 o'clock in the morning every day. You know what I mean? Getting to it. A man that you could see how my life changed. Him buying a new car every 5 years. Us going on family vacations, investing in our education. We wanted for nothing. And my father had 5 kids, so my 2 brothers that he had before my parents got married, and then me and my 2 other siblings. But we were all set up for success. Whatever their choices are, they got to take accountability for those choices. But as far as everything he did to set us up for success, he went until he was sick, you know what I mean? Like, and he could no longer, but he gave it his all, had his own little side business called Lorenzo's Tiles. So he's doing tiles on the weekends, cash jobs, you know what I mean? And I think the thing that I need to do differently is use more of my mind than the physical, you know what I mean? That's what he wanted for me. And that's what I'm able to do, you know what I'm saying?
It's mind over matter.
Yeah, mind over matter. So my I'm more mentally exhausted after all of this than physically. You know what I mean? Like I don't really have this wear and tear on my body. You know what I mean? Like I did that though at one point, but I've been able to build myself to a point where I'm able to financially sustain myself and my family, and it's not as physically strenuous.
Right. Do you think having your father in your life contributes to your self-esteem in any way?
That's a fact. Big Zoe Jr., even being the son that shares his name. My father had sons before me, and they don't have his name. Like, I'm him. I'm the chosen one. Feel me? And he's sure that. Feel me? Like, I'm not comparing myself to none of my siblings, but shit speaks for itself. You know what I'm saying? And I'm Lorenzo for a reason. And there's a reason that they're not. Feel me? And I can't explain it all. I know he explained it to me. Feel me? And I'm just happy that I'm him. And it does give me that validation, that confidence. I can see a lot of my friends, how they struggle in their relationship. Even me with a mother and a father, I struggle with relationship with women. But that's because of the mommy issues, how my mother was, her aggression, and her anger, you know what I'm saying, or whatever traumas and demons she was battling, that had her act the way she did. You know what I mean? Very nurturing, very, we wanted for nothing. I mean, but that how you're spoken to counts for a lot. You feel me? And,
right.
And being able to go to your mother upset, and have her to console you and be there. You know what I mean? And I got jumped really bad when I was 12, and she didn't do shit. You know what I mean? And I really lost a lot of confidence in her that day. Something that she's never gonna acknowledge or really give a fuck about. But for me, that was like, damn, like I'm really on my own out here. And so even though she raised us to be independent, I really started to move on my own time. And thank God for teachers and educators and mentors and coaches that like I could lean on.
Yeah.
Like they let me lean on them, and they really gave me the direction and the information to move forward.
Why do you think people that aren't emotionally stable even have kids?
Man, I think, from my mother's era, she was married. That era is kind of how things go. You know what I mean? My dad was the breadwinner. He was the protector, the provider. Mom Dukes probably made a third of what he made, maybe. You know what I mean? Like in her 2 jobs, and even when she had breast cancer and only had to work 1 job, we were still straight because pops covered more than everything. My mom could have been a stay-at-home mom if she wanted to, but that's not really in her nature. You know what I mean? So, I think I think sometimes you don't know there's an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know that your fart stinks, or you don't know that something is not right. You know what I mean? Especially when maybe that's how you were brought up. My grandmother softened up later on in life, but she was very, very hard nosed, like, but this is a woman that's been through a lot. But now she's much more lighter and sweeter, and, but Mom Dukes, I think she's on her way there, but she's not there yet. But, yeah, therapy.
That's true though. Like, even when you think of like in their generation, a lot of them were getting married like 25, 26. They was settled down.
Younger than that.
Yeah, I'm being gracious, but they done found a partner and they were so fast to commit and have kids. And I guess that's just like the white picket fence, American dream was very like popular. Right. Now that's not really popularized like that. And leading up to this next question, do you feel like this younger generation of men find it harder to commit to women?
Yeah. I think there's so much access, to women on social media. You're a DM away from having an interaction with somebody. I feel like with this hot girl summer era, whatever you want to call it, I feel like, like women aren't as, I don't know, they shooting their shot too. You know what I mean? So within that, I feel like everybody needs to go do some self-discovery. And that has nothing to do with anything sexual. It has to do with finding some inner peace. You know what I mean? Are you okay with yourself? You know what I mean? Can you sit in a room for a couple hours by yourself and you're not afraid of the thoughts that are going to cross your mind? You know what I'm saying? Going to therapy, doing the healing, becoming more aligned with yourself. You know what I mean? So people need to travel, open up your mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So go through life where
A lot of people don't got a passport.
right. That's a fact. That's a
It's
fact.
crazy to me.
You know what I'm saying? So even if you got a passport, I feel like you should have visited every state. Like, it's 51 of them shits. Like, I'm saying, get out there. You feel me? Like, between Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, you know what I'm saying? You got a lot going on up here. You feel me? And you could take a bus, you know, to, I think Ohio is like 6 hours, 7 hours away, something like that. Chicago's not far. Even if you take the bus out there, you know, but it's about gaining those experiences and opening up your mind. So I feel like with men, it's cool till it's not cool, you know, to be outside.
That's
you know,
true.
you because you have to evolve. Like I don't talk down on it because I was once there, but I kind of caught on to things kind of early. I'm very, very happy that I did, the way it was like, yeah. Like I work mad hard and I only make like, at the time, I make like $17 an hour. Like I'm in the strip club throwing money. Like if I got it like that, like I dead don't got it like that. Like I remember
a lot of people felt that.
I feel like real shit. Like the day that I used the ATM in Sin City was when I was like, I can't do this no more. It's a $10 transaction fee and that shit. Like this is not good. Like so I started to go to the strip club, cash, like leave the debit card in the crib. Like once this money's over, it's over. Then I was like, I really don't need to be here no more. Like it's cool, it's fun. You ain't fucking nothing in here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so this is, it's pointless. It was fun, cool, I'm done. Next thing, I started to realize that all that money I was spending out, I could go on trips. So literally between the ages of 23 and 27, I was traveling 3-4 times a year. You know what I'm saying? Going places. This is where boarding school came in handy. I'm calling friends that live in the Bahamas, like, yo, I'm trying to come out these dates. I'm staying at day cribs. I'm just buying flights places. And I'm staying with all my friends, all my international friends that live all over the world. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to Bermuda, the Bahamas, Dominican Republic. Got friends everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I utilized that time to get out there. And I was like, you know what? My money is better spent on experience than a one night where I don't remember nothing or I was drinking till I was fucked up and you know what I'm saying? It wasn't fun no more. But it was fun at one point. Popping bottles, I was popping them shits like 2 on the minimum type shit. You know what I'm saying? My 21st birthday, we popped 15 of them shits. Like, I'm saying we had a little deal in there, but still though, you know what I mean? You spending money on frivolous things, but I get it though. But are we investing? Is your kid living a better life than you did? I feel like no child should get anything less than anything you got. So I know I was very blessed. You know what I mean? Humble beginnings, but Pops really got on his. So my kids ain't getting nothing less than I had. And I owe them even more than that.
Right.
You feel me? Because I'm going to get it earlier. You feel me? And I'm going to have to do less to get more.
Do you feel like that also, just moving and living with a bigger purpose helps you to stay more aligned?
Hell yeah. You know, once you find your purpose and you pushing P, you know, purpose, positivity, productivity, you know, it changes everything because I know my why. I know what I'm moving for. You know what I mean? Even in my day job, I love my day job. I love being a dean. You know what I mean? And it's something that with my nonprofit, Slice of Excellence, you know, we trade report cards for pizza. I was on the outside looking in. Even though I was helping schools, I'm still on the outside because I'm an organization. So I needed to actually be rooted and grounded in education, right? So I'm not just talking about it. I'm actually in there. And, you know, everybody wants to say something from the outside looking in. So how do you infiltrate the system from the inside? So now I'm in the DOE. I'm seeing everything firsthand every day.
That is not for the weak.
It's not.
I don't know how you're doing it.
Definitely not. It's passion. It's love. I love those kids. Like those kids know I do not play about them. I adore them. And I see how God has made everything full circle for me. You know, how he's given me a platform to talk about it on Conversation with Zoe, but he's also given me a platform to actually do the community work in Slice of Excellence. So there's no cap in my rap, as the kids say. You know, this is all getting done. You know, and every day is an opportunity to see like a life experience that I get to talk to a kid through. You know, we got a baseball player. Shout out to my guy, Dyrus. Amazing kid. And I can talk to him from experience as being a guy that was a top athlete in high school and wanted to go to college and wanted to go to the pros, which are all the things that I did. You know, I've been able to do those things in my life. So just like, yo, like next year, a totally different ball game when you get to college. You know what I'm saying? And the kid that, you know, is going through it with his mom. So I'm like, yo, bro, like your opportunity is right here in school. You get it done here, you're going to have more control of your life. And you're going to be education's going to open doors for you. You know what I mean? Because I didn't choose my school. My school didn't choose me. I chose that school. I mean, I was a project manager in construction, doing fine. I could have stood there, rode the wave and fine. But I didn't feel whole. You know, even though, shout out to Latia Construction, I adore this company, we was doing pizza parties in their buildings. So we were a developer, but we also had a property management company. And they let me do pizza parties in their apartment, in their buildings in the Bronx, which was mad cool. But that gave me a feeling that I wanted even more of. Because this once a month ain't cutting it. I'm going to see these kids in hybrids, happy as hell. We getting to know each other. It's more and more kids every time. Families coming through. And it's like, damn, once a month, though. So I reached out to, shout out to Miss Bruno. I reached out to Bruno and it's like, yo, like, are there any openings at your school? And I ain't really had to look far. She's like, yeah, they're looking for an assistant dean. And boom, it happened.
And I feel like it's also like, it's a skill as a man to be able to connect with children, because naturally children are going to gravitate more towards like, you know, the feminine energy, the nurturing energy.
Right.
So as a male, like that's like a plus looking like outward, like as a female.
Right.
Because it's like, okay, he's somebody you can trust.
Right.
He's somebody that's protective. He's somebody that, you know, it's a good sign when kids like you, when kids mess with you. Right. And I feel like also everybody should have that, just that training, even if it's from when you're young, to just cater to kids or like babysit, or, because that's like, I feel like that's a skill. Right. That's a necessity you need to have, because it takes a village.
Yes.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
I think with my kids, it's a good balance knowing that I'll smack the shit out of them, but I'll also give you a hug. Like,
yeah.
I'll give you that tough. It's knowing when tough love is needed.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just need to be heard. Like, you could see it. They late. They going through it. They mother. They got to school 2 hours. And it's like, in that moment, are you okay? You all right? Do you need anything? Did you eat? That's another thing. You know, the food insecurities. You know what I mean? Making sure they ate. Like, you good? Did you have breakfast? Like, you need anything? Because, you know, Mom Dukes left to work before they got up to go to school. Like, so they're 16 now. So their parents is like, yo, you got it. You gonna figure it out. But, you know, they don't have it all figured out. There may be nothing in the food to make breakfast with. Or they only got $5. So it's like, you know, having those Nutri-Grain bars, having those little snacks that they could grab and bottled waters and, you know what I'm saying? Because that also causes chaos too. When you're hungry and you're going through it and you agitated, you know what I mean? So just trying to find multiple ways to be a resource for the kids.
Yeah. And I feel like you learn a lot through kids too. Like,
oh yeah.
You learn a lot about yourself. Like, if you snap on a kid, like, damn, I need to check like what's going on up here.
Yeah.
I need to take a step back and just like check my energy first.
Right. It means a lot to a kid. A staff member and a kid had a couple words the other day, but it was big to see them have a conversation and apologize to each other. And I'm sure it meant more to the kid to see a staff member apologize to him. You know what I mean? Because normally it's like, well, I'm the adult. Like, what am I apologizing to you for? You know what I mean? But how else do we teach men accountability? Young men accountability, if we're not taking accountability ourselves, if we're not modeling who it is that we want them to be. And sorry, no one's too big for a sorry.
Yeah. And it also makes them feel like they have a voice and they're seen.
It does.
You know?
It does.
Going to your podcast now, Conversations with Zoe.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so for Mind Over Matter, right?
Right.
A part of me started this because I just want to have like an archive of my mindset.
Right.
That my kids and future generations can go back to look back on, to see how I was as a person, how I thought.
Right.
And that's even through the people I have and just, you know, the conversations.
Right. We're an extension of you.
Right.
Right.
So how does that play a part into like your podcast? Does that like ever play a role in when you're recording, like, yo, my kids are gonna see this?
Hell yeah. You know, because I want them to see. I don't want to. It's a dangerous thing to hide people from something, because once you see it for the first time, it's either going to positively or negatively affect you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I don't want them to. I want them to know the real. I want them to see that there's different walks of life. That everyone deserves respect. Everyone deserves to be heard. And I'm sure 2044 is going to be totally different from our reality,
Yeah.
because in 20 years, I'm 52. You know what I mean? So, and then my kids are going to be in their 20s and 30s. So it's like, this is going to be a whole different reality,
Yeah.
So for me, I started conversation with Zoe to just show kids how to embrace themselves, build confidence, be cool with whatever lane that they choose, especially staying out the way. Like, there's this false advertising that if you're not gang, you pussy, or if you're not this, you that, or you soft, or you're less than, and all that shit is bullshit, because it doesn't transfer. It doesn't translate to real life. It's not real. It is real, but it's not real in the sense that we can't go buy a crib with it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's not tangible.
It's not tangible, right?
Yeah, it's destructive.
It's destructive, right? And it's also not for everyone, right? So I knew that it wasn't for me. And I was very fortunate enough to have conscious people around me that respected my decision to stay out the way, and they embraced that. So I want to show kids, and I want to validate them in a positive way and show them that it's okay to stay out the way, that it's okay to respect your parents. It's okay to love school and education and love reading, right? They say you want to hide information, put it in a book, right? Because we're not promoting literacy and literature and reading.
That's so true.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, I think of that, and I also just think of giving someone out there that little piece of confidence that may be missing, whether from talking about sports, therapy, the Bronx, any hood in America, just trying to shoot your shot. Even something like, we're at 187 episodes, trying.
Wow.
Like, it don't hurt to try, The worst you can do is not try.
That's big.
Thank you.
That's big. And a lot of people don't make it past episode 8.
As they say.
Hey. That also goes back to like the lack of portrayal too, and the lack of like portrayal of Black men
Right.
in positive ways in media. And do you think that plays a role in how they are, like, when you say like it's normalized for them, many of them, to be in gangs and to...
Oh man.
Do you think the media plays a role in it?
It's funny, me and one of my students was talking about this literally yesterday. And he's in the streets, right? But he also has a pretty solid foundation at home. So it's not like he has to really dive in and lose himself, because when he goes home, his reality doesn't portray that. You know what I mean? There's nothing about his home that says like, oh, this is what we're doing. You know what I mean? So, but the people he hangs out with, right? That's the kind of time they're on, right? Then that's what he's thinking about. Then he's on YouTube, and whatever he was watching, and all he's watching is drill videos and all of that. So
I know a couple of those.
That's all you thinking about all day. So when that time do come, you're so impulsive and angry and aggressive because that's all that's on your mind, right?
Mind you, they probably come from a great family.
Great family. You know what I mean? So not everybody had to bust a gun. You feel me? There's people that had to out of necessity. There's different eras. I'm sure, Bronx, Brooklyn, New York City in the 80s was crazy. I'm sure you really had to go clap some shit up if you had to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
for survival.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of this isn't for survival, it's for clout. You know what I mean? So for me, a lot of what the social media portrays is for the weak-minded. You know what I mean? So if you don't got nobody showing you, and if you don't have nobody showing you nothing different, then you're kind of just gonna go with the crowd, right? But with that being said, right, with anybody telling you not to do something, you better have an alternative. You better have some resources to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
So I can get you a job somewhere. Facts. So if I tell you to get off the block, it's because I have another way for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I can do that. A lot of people just talking and don't have another way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just talk at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you trying to get somebody to do, have another way. Have an alternative.
Mm-hmm. Do you think like drill, rap music, and just, you know, like reality TV even, do you think that actually influences them in any way? Or do you think it's just like an art form?
I think it's an art.
Okay.
And I think it can influence you. But once again, if you don't have no direction, if you don't have nobody showing you that you are more, you know what I'm saying, than that. And if you're not in this place where you can just enjoy it for what it is in music, then that's when it's going to infiltrate your mind. And it's going to take you places that you're not even ready to go, right? In our era, you know, you never wanted to be associated with certain things, especially being a snitch or a rat. Now it's so common because they letting everybody in. You know what I mean? I'm a sidewalk nigga. True and told. King of it. Love it.
What do you mean by that? What's that?
They make the streets and the sidewalks, right? It's the porch, the streets, and the sidewalk, technically, right? So you know how now the saying is, oh, I've been off the porch, right? Well, think of a porch. A porch is right in front of your house, right? That's 2 levels before the streets. But there's people that never got off the porch, right? There's people that was just there.
Oh, okay.
You get me, right?
Yeah, I get it.
Now I'm on the sidewalks, though. I'm right next to the streets.
Yeah.
But I'm on the sidewalks, though.
Yeah, you still safe.
Right? It get a little spooky sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, people got to cross the street. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes they're on the sidewalk waiting for the next thing. And we may cross paths, but we're going to cross paths just because we so happen to. But my intention leaving my house was never to do harm to anybody. Harm happened to me just because casualty of living in the South Bronx. But I never left my house with that energy for nobody. You know what I mean? So drill music with that energy is destruction and disaster, right? But if you don't have to live for that and you can just enjoy it for the art form that it is, then it's just music. You know what I'm saying? I heard Fuck the Police mad times. It never did nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed it because it was strong, it was powerful, it was black, it was proud. That's what it did for me. But for another person who's maybe vibrating at a lower frequency, that may have been like, I'm gonna snuff a cop today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was their mindset. But I feel like as long as we're validating our youth, our black men and queens, we're able to show them a different way and live by that too. So everything that I'm doing, from my nonprofit to trying to talk life into these children every day at the school to my occupation, is all centered around youth development.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
And like you said, back to like your circle. Is that something like you see around you a lot? Is like black men that sound like that are in...
Yeah, my circle is L. I gravitated towards people that I felt comfortable around. And I quickly let people go because that was causing me harm. I'm saying people do you dirty because they can't get to your friend. So, you know, whoever they get first, anybody affiliated with that person, you know what I'm saying? Like they say, guilty by association. Well, you could be guilty by affiliation. So anybody that I like to go visit my friends in different neighborhoods, go to parties in different neighborhoods. So if you say, well, I can't go to Gun Hill, I'm not good over there. Well, we're not gonna be friends no more because I want to go to that party. You know what I mean? So early in life, 14, 15, if that's how you was moving, I was distancing I wouldn't even give you a chance because that almost happened to me. And it did happen to me, right? People did pull out things and we got jumped and you know, I see my man, somebody put a gun to his temple. You know what I'm saying? So I can't, if that's the life you in, I can't be around you. And I didn't give people a second, third, and fourth chance to paint a picture they already painted for me. So I'm good on that. And that don't make me pussy, that don't make me soft. I'm 31, 32, I'm still alive, I'm well, I'm educated, I'm fly, I'm a father, and I'm here.
Right.
Because that's the goal, right? We got to see life through.
Mhm.
So like I said, a lot of people are on, well, I said this earlier to a kid, but you haven't seen life come full circle yet. You're on this side of the circle, right? So your
True.
feelings are all on this side. You haven't seen it all make sense yet because you don't know who you're gonna need someday, right? You may feel like that person's irrelevant, that teacher's irrelevant, but you never know when you're gonna need a recommendation, or that teacher may know your college professor, or you know what I mean? Like you guys aren't thinking like that because you guys like, well, I don't fuck with them, right? But I mean, don't write them off, right? Especially when you're being so emotional about something you're supposed to be doing, right? So there's facts in the emotions. Let's just stick to the facts.
What's your proudest moment as a dad?
My proudest moment as a dad, man, just every day that I come home, you know what I'm saying? Like, even today, the love that I pour into my son. I was just I was on the phone with his mother. I was on my way home, and I see her FaceTiming me, so I pick up the FaceTime. He's like, "I love you, Dad." I mean, we didn't even say hi to each other, nothing. So just that love that he has for me and how excited he is for me, and just being a part of his life. Like I really love being his dad. Like more than anything, and even me being here, I don't really go out. I only do things that gonna move the business and the culture forward. And so I don't really go out like that. You know what I'm saying? I find other ways to see my friends, and we play on softball teams together. So that's kind of like I hang out and we drink there and bullshit. But like the club scene, going out, like I'm only doing things that are for my nonprofit, for my podcast, and that's about it. You know what I mean? I want to be with my guys as much as I can, my boys.
And what's that overall vision for your podcast?
Man, I want us to be, on Netflix, HBO, some kind of daytime, late night show. My guests come from all walks of life. You might see a pastor, you might see a porn star, you might see a rapper, you might see a professional athlete.
Yeah.
You never know, but it's going to be a great conversation. It's going to touch somebody's soul. It's going to do something for somebody. And I feel like a lot of the stuff that goes viral with the women in the adult entertainment world is the fact that nobody want to hear something wholesome because it's coming from them. But are they lying? Is it a fact? Or is it, it's a fact what they talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's just that people feel like, well, look what you do for a living. So, but like I said, and shout out to the Brooklyn Basement Podcast, we grew up with people who sold crack. Like we grew up with people that did things that you could say are worse, and we cool with them. So how am I here judging how you get your bread? Once again, if I'm not giving you another alternative, I'm not putting money in your pocket. So what I'm here to judge you.
So
for?
How do you even vet the people you got coming on? It's a feeling?
It's a feeling.
Okay.
That episode just started clicking in my head. Like my phone is charging over there, but I got Google Docs on my phone. I just be in front of people just taking notes. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll just start jotting things down, and like it's just a feeling. It just comes to me. And I'm just happy that it still happens. And meeting people from different walks of life. We got an episode with Lish 2X coming out tomorrow. She's a Muslim rapper. Well, she's an artist, but she's different. Muslim. Yeah. She came out with a Ramadan album. She's in Ramadan right now. So, just having her come out at 9:00 on Monday, for she could be able to eat after sundown, come do the podcast, and, her talk about, because, she is covered. You know what I'm saying? So just, what did she say? Modest, feminine fashion. You know what I'm saying? Very beautiful woman, but more of elegance in the way she carried herself. And she spoke about, feminism versus femininity, and she's, you know what I mean? She was popping her shit that day, So that right there, when she sent me her info over, I listened to some of her music. It just started to flow. It just started to get a feeling through it. Even people that I admire, like Jim Jones, interviewing Jim Jones was just like, this is a New York icon, you know what I'm saying? A rap icon. And how could you interview Jim Jones without talking about fashion? And I was a part of that era of fashion when we was wearing Pels and Biggies and Merms and Pradas and Maury's, and you know what I mean? Like that right there, he was gonna engage in. I knew he was, 100%. Just because that you see people wearing Avirexes and all that stuff again now. But if you was around
and Pele,
04, 2010, you know, the whole American Eagle era, rugby, polo, cardigans, cargo pants, bootcut jeans, Ace Solos, like, it was a hell of a time, you know. So I'm glad that I got to live through an era and also talk to a person that, you know, really was outside then. I was young, but he was really outside, you know.
Yeah.
And shout out to Dice Peso who made that happen for me.
Okay. Is there any last words you want to leave the people off with?
Man, you know, the worst thing you could do is not try. And I feel like, you know, like Kobe said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And for the youth, man, it's gonna be a wild summer. You know, people hungry out there. I'm saying, if you got a scholarship, you need to stay your ass in the house. You need to go get your workout in. You need to go to cookouts with your parents. You need to do shit during the day with your friends. After 10 o'clock, you don't got no business outside. And it just is what it is. Like, you need to make it to college and come back. You know what I'm saying? Even when you come back, be selective. It's totally okay to be selective with the times and the people you want to be around and the places you want to be. Not every function is for me. I know that. I'm a public figure. Like, I can't be everywhere like that. You feel me? I just can't. It's just not, it's not conducive to my well-being. You feel me? And I'd rather go somewhere, show love, and leave. You feel me? Like, there's a lot of things that happen and I wasn't there long enough to see it unfold. Read energy. The energy ain't right, go home. Fuck, I don't give a fuck if you do 3 hours. You ain't feeling it, something don't feel right, leave. And that's that. You feel me? So be selective, protect your energy, and stay on the sidewalks and stay in your lane.
I want to finish y'all off with this too. If you think you can, you're right. If you think you can't, you're also right.
Right.
Period. I read that in a book on my way here.
Fire.
So thank you if you reached the end of another episode. Shout out to you. Big up to you. Like, I appreciate you. Like, you listen to the end. Like, oh my God, all the way to the end. Like, you really love yourself. Like, I love that for you. Thank you, Zoe, for joining me. It's been a pleasure. You blessed this podcast.
Thank you. Thank you
so much. Yeah, make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Mother, that is mind over matter, baby. Yo, you got my dream guest, you know.
Who?
19 Keys.
19 Keys.
Yeah.
Man, that was Wolf was here for that one. That was a crazy one too.
That's wild.
That was super dope. When I got that email, I was like, oh hell yeah. We making this shit happen.